Well, welcome back, folks. And here we are. It is now our 13th instalment of Mo Star Mind, our sports quiz, which is run in conjunction with the Montrose Community Trust. And our 13th volunteer, let's hope it's not unlucky for some, is the one, the only, Mr. Ross Campbell. Woo!
Tremendous enthusiasm for what is 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning, Roscoe. Terrific. You weren't drinking as much as me last night.
Do you know what? I take this job extremely seriously.
Good.
You can tell.
Well, I think as a footballer, as you probably know, the Friday nights are pretty sacrosanct, early bed, etc. So I think most players in the off-season or when they've got an injury take advantage of a good Friday night, and I was exactly the same last night. So be kind to me, would you?
So what you're telling me is you're kind of staying in the same sort of normal routine that you would if you had been playing.
No, that's the opposite. I'm taking advantage of the Friday nights. So, but no, I am training. I take pride. I'm getting a bit older, but your health and well-being is critical, not only just in football, but obviously my day job is involved in the leisure industry. So practice what you preach by that. If you don't mind trying to burn the candle at both ends. Exercise in the morning, drinking at night. It works pretty well so far.
So how are you getting on in terms of dealing with the situation that we all find ourselves in currently?
Pretty well. I think I would always caveat everything, but from the seriousness of the matter, at the macro level, if you like, mostly on life, but also the financial impact across the world. But at a micro level, so at my home life, I'm taking full advantage of it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Simply because being involved in part-time football and holding down a day job, it can be quite busy and quite demanding of your time. And I've got a 4-year-old, a 9-month-old, and a wife who's on maternity with no work responsibilities. So it's actually been exceptional. Making the most of the situation, should I say, because I'm getting to spend a lot of time with them. So staying positive as always, it's just the best way to approach, and keeping a watchful eye and trying to be respectful and help anybody else as it comes forward. But certainly in the lockdown, taking advantage of quality time with the family.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look for positives out of the situation we're currently in, and I think that a lot of people are just taking that step back and appreciating the time that they have with their family at the moment if they have children.
Yeah, very much so. And obviously we're speaking, I'm volunteering today as part of on the trust, and the guys do an exceptional job. And there's people who will be in a vulnerable situation, whether that they're living in a tenement block or whether that they're living on their own, or maybe even sometimes both, and may struggle to have the access to either the people that I've just demonstrated about with my young family and the garden space, for example, just to be outdoors. So I'm not in any way professing that it's easy, but I think that approach and things like making sure that you are speaking up if you aren't feeling great at the time is really, really critical. And people like the Community Trust that, as I said, we're speaking on behalf of today are there to help. So anybody is listening and feeling a little bit down, then it's perfectly natural, and make sure that you reach out and speak to somebody, because there's always somebody willing to listen.
Yeah, I think the point you're making there is there are a lot of people who will not have struggled with their mental health at all in the past, and individuals you would look at and think, oh well, they'll be fine through all this. And of course, it's not until you're put into this sort of situation you realise that maybe these individuals aren't as strong as you think, and they should be, as you say, reaching out and looking for help from folk if they can get it.
Well, very much so. I think that I'm very happy to admit that I have ups and downs. That's absolutely the way. You get a bit bored, you get a bit frustrated, the kids do your head in, you feel a bit lonely because you've not got other adult company, male company, etc. That I spend a lot of my time in adult company, and if you take the football environment, that I'm missing all of that. So it's not all plain sailing, and when it's not, I suppose I've got the the fortunate situation of the kids keeping me quite grounded and keeping life pretty simple, and I've got a wife who I can speak to, as well as things like video conferencing and stuff. So it's not all easy, and but what I make sure I do is I make sure I speak about my feelings openly to people that I trust, and if people don't have as much direct contact with in their home life in this lockdown, then there's certainly people in there, and the community trust is critical to that. There's certainly people out there who would want to come and help, and so make sure you do keep speaking about it, and there's always help around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the trust, and they have their befriending call, and they've got their team talk. Some of the guys at the club have already been in contact with some of the fans just to check in on them, see how they're getting on. I mean, the club are, in terms of, you know, the community trust there, are doing so many things for our community at the moment. I mean, their work is truly invaluable, as it always has been. I mean, you know these guys, they're doing a tremendous amount of work. They
are. It's really, really critical. You know, I was on a webinar during the week as part of my work, and I suppose the $1 million question is, what will life be like post COVID-19 and the lockdown, and there is a real sense of what they were discussing in that forum was around sports or individual clubs or organisations working in silos, and how actually what could come from this is this very much this collegiate, this community approach. And it was clear. Craig Graham was speaking on it, who does a similar job. Him and Dougie at Spartans do a similar job to what Pete Davidson and the team do up the road in Montrose, and that's what really stuck out to me when I was listening to it. I was saying, you know, well, actually, you've got somewhere like the Montrose Community Trust actually already doing these things, pooling loads of different people from businesses to hard to reach groups, the football club, etc., very much being part of that collegiate and community approach. So one thing that may come out strongly from this unprecedented time, which is a commonly used word now, is that maybe there is a greater need and a better profile and a larger engagement for and a place for things like the Trust, who do such a great job. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. And I mean, the thing is, the Trust have in the past, obviously, and still will in the future, depend upon donations from people out there in the community. And one of the major ways that they brought funding in every year was the 5K for 50-day challenge, where half of the money that was raised by individuals went to the Trust, and the other 50% went to a charity that they chose themselves. And a lot of these charities were based in Montrose. Now, that's been going since 2012, but unfortunately, current climate we're in, that's not really a possibility. But what they are planning on starting, and director of the club, Tracy Park, has already started this process. She's doing 7K for 70 days. So you can sponsor her if you wish, or even better still, you can actually join her. You don't have to do 7K. There's a 2.5K for 25 days, the 5K for 50 days, or as I say, this 7K for 70 days. This time, the slight difference is the 50% that people raise go to the Trust, and the other 50% is going to the NHS. So if you do want to help out the Community Trust, and you want to help out our NHS service as well, then we'd encourage as many people as possible to sign up for this and use their daily exercise in a positive way. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Great. I think it's a really good idea and a really good concept. I think that if I was with my day job at Ori, I'm a huge advocate of how exercise can have such a transformational part of your daily life, and that's not just from the mental and physical well-being. That's from even things like your productivity, and you know, you're reducing your sickness levels and getting these endorphins going so that you're just a better person to be around. So many different factors. So exercising anyway is really, really critical. It's really critical at this moment because it helps with the lockdown period and keeping you really focused on that. And then to combine that with a charitable cause and you really feel connected to something that you're passionate about, anybody who is taking part in it, I'll commit now, Ross, that I'll be sponsoring Tracy, and I'll definitely commit to doing that. Tracy's came through her own stuff, and she does an exceptional job with what she does at Montrose, and she's always looking out for everyone. So I'll commit to doing that, and but I think anybody that can get involved, and probably it sounds like there's a level in which people can be involved for them all. So you might even have avid runners who want to do 10K for 100 days. I assume that it's incremental, but certainly 2.5K is achievable for 99% of the population out there, because I'm sure it's not stipulated that you have to run that.
Oh,
you
God,
can
no.
cycle it, walk it, run. Yeah, of course. So finding a level and then incrementally working through that is a great thing. So yeah, fully behind it. And if there's anything I can do, as I said, I'll commit to sponsoring Tracy. And if there's anything I can do on top of that, then please let me know.
Excellent. I think if you just go have a look at the Community Trust's site, I'm sure there'll be more details there. And again, thanks very much for supporting Tracy and for supporting the trust there, Ross. Much appreciated, mate.
Great.
Okay, well, here we go, pal. I said in the last one that Aaron Lennox was bottom of the pile, but I've done him a disservice. It's actually Louis. It's Lewis Milton who is bottom of the pile because he had more passes. He got one correct.
That's it's no surprise. And have you been through? I'm a really proud Fifer, Ross, as you know, and education is really, really critical. It just happens to be that in every walk of life, some people choose to go down a different path, and we happen to have signed 3 players from Fife that went down that same path, and Liam, CJ, and Lewis. Lewis is a colleague of mine at Oriam. He does some 0-hour stuff, so casual work to fit around his gaming and sleeping professional status, and so he's a good worker. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's no surprise that he has only answered one question out of how many?
I think he probably had a stab at about a dozen, I would think.
Right, okay. Now I'm going to give him, I've only seen one of these so far just because I've not deliberately wanted to, I wanted to see what it was like, but also didn't want to take advantage of being later down the pack, if you like. So credit to the guys who started. But they're not exactly difficult questions. So I cannot wait to get off the back of this call and watch Lewis's published article. And all I'm hoping that is I get 2 questions correct, and that's enough for me. That I need to keep my credibility above Lewis. That's great.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, most people have actually been looking to get above Paul, which is 3. But you need to get 12 to be in the lead. Flem's got 11. 11 questions asked, 11 correct answers given.
Can I just clarify that Flem's a close friend of mine, and can I just check that you didn't send him the questions in advance?
Hand on heart.
That is a huge shock to me, and well, credit to him. Who am I to criticise if he's nailed that? As long as you're saying there's no anything shoddy happened in it, then
no, off his own back entirely.
Well done, Flem.
Yeah. So I'll very quickly go through the rules, very basic. 90 seconds to answer as many questions as you possibly can. If you pass, that's absolutely fine. I'll give you the answer at the end. If you have a go, though, and get the answer incorrect, then I will give you the correct answer before we move on. If I start the question when the bell goes, I will finish the question and let you have a go at answering it. How do you feel?
Great. And sorry, just quickly, if I pass on something but it comes back to me, can I say it randomly and it counts?
You can say it randomly, but it won't count.
Yeah, I can say it. I'll just be making noise. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's go.
Be careful with that, because I might take that as the answer to the question I've just asked you.
Yeah. I answer one question in front all the time. You're very clear, so you're ready to go.
Right. Okay, Ross, here we go. Your 90 seconds start now. Which game can only be played right-handed?
Pass.
Sir Steve Redgrave won gold medals for rowing at how many Olympic Games?
5.
Correct. What do golfers call the 19th hole?
Pub. Or the clubhouse.
Yeah, correct. Which manager of England went on to manage the Russian national team?
Or Italian. Pass. Sugar.
Which two brothers played together in the 1966?
Oh, there you go. There's my.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay. Which two brothers played together in the 1966 World Cup final?
Charons.
Who are?
Bobby and Jack.
Correct. Footballer Yaya Toure was born in which country?
It's not Sierra Leone. It's not that.
It's the Ivory Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the name of the first woman to win a boxing gold medal at the Olympic Games?
Nicola Adams.
Correct. Who in Beijing became the first British athlete since 1908 to win 2 gold medals in swimming?
Rebecca Adlington.
Correct. Which country won the first World Cup?
Uruguay.
Correct. In which year was the Grand National declared void due to 2 false starts? Worth a stab?
Yeah. I'll go recently 2-7.
It was 1993, would you believe?
All right, okay. I would never have got that then. That was just a complete stab.
Right, okay. So, how do we get on? Let's have a quick look here. We have got the right-handed sport that you passed on.
Goodness.
Polo. Polo is only allowed to be played right-handed.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, I would never have known that. Anyway.
There you go. So, Redgrave getting 5 was correct. Clubhouse is correct. You got Fabio Capello because I didn't finish the other question, so I gave you that. That's
generous.
no, Watson will be moaning about that.
I'm past his 3 anyway, so he can ram it.
Jack and Bobby Charlton is 4. Nicola Adams 5. Rebecca Adlington 6. Uruguay 7. And you didn't get the Grand National. So, Ross, you have got 7 correct, which I'm pretty sure takes you into second place, buddy.
Well, may I just take this opportunity to challenge Flem's 11? Were they just yes or no's?
No,
how he could get through that amount in 90 seconds? I'm going to have to put a steward's inquiry in, but I'll take 7. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you've done well, mate. Trust me.
Can't wait to see the other.
Well, look, thanks again, Ross, for volunteering to do this for the Montrose Community Trust today. It's very much appreciated by us all. And look after yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, spend some time with your family there and really enjoy it, and look forward to seeing you back at Links Park very soon. Yeah, thank you, Ross. And just to anybody that's watching, I would echo that to them, but also to thank yourself and Brian, 2 volunteers at the club, for giving up your time to pull this together and do your small part. So thank you to you, and yeah, thanks for the comments. It's been enjoyed the last 15 minutes spending time with you. Much appreciated, Ross. Thank you very much.